Well, let's get these arms moving back and forth. Generally speaking, the arms are going to be doing the opposite of what the legs are. So if the left leg is forward, then the left arm is going to be back. So let's begin with our contact poses here at frames 1 and 7, and let's place our arms where we think they should be. The thing about inverse kinematics, or IK arms, is that we're going to have to be mindful of making sure that our arms and hands are giving us nice arcs or curves. They can have a tendency to look like a train piston going back and forth like this, rather than giving us nice arcs. So we need to be mindful of that. All right, so here is our first contact position. Let me go to the side view here, the orthographic view. And since our left leg is forward like this here, let's make sure that our left arm is back. I'm going to need to move that in a bit and bring that down some. So he's kind of maybe going to swing like that. Let's bring that hammer down a bit. All right, so now let's take this arm, the right arm, and move that forward a bit. I'll bring it in. I'll rotate that up a bit so the hand is more in line with the shield for now. That looks painful. Now I think I will go ahead and use this elbow control because that'll help me move the shield where I want it to be. Kind of like that. I'll go ahead and move the elbow control over just a bit to line that elbow up. And maybe I want to swing that hammer out just a bit so it doesn't hit him as it passes. So now that we've got our hands or our arms in place for our first contact position, let's go ahead and select these hands and also the elbow controls. I dealt with those too, created keyframes for those. And let's now come over here to the dope sheet and find those keyframes. So here we go, we've got them here. The elbow targets down here, and we've got the hand IK up here. So I'm going to go ahead and select these keyframes, those two there, and these two here. Now for testing purposes, I've reduced my frame range to 12. Let me get that back up to 13 here. There we go. So that includes that 13th keyframe here. And what I'll do is just duplicate these and move them over to frame 13. So I'll press Shift D and then just move the mouse all the way over to frame 13 and click. And now we should have those arms in place in the same way on both 13 and 1. Okay, good. So now we need to do the same thing on frame 7 except just the opposite of frame 1. So let's see if our copy and paste mirror will work for these as well. We were able to use it on the legs. Let's see if we can use it on the arms too. I'm going to scroll over here and find these buttons right here. So with these selected now, I've got the hands and the elbows at frame 1. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then I'm going to move up to frame 7. And let's paste here, right here, and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Now, the hammer's in a bit of an awkward position, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and play this and see how it looks. Oh boy, there he goes. So it's not too bad, actually. It looks like he's pounding himself in the head with the hammer, but that's okay. We can fix that. All right, so what we've got is frame 1 here, and then frame 7 there, and back to frame 13 here. So we've got some strangeness happening all through here. And that's because we've got all these extra keyframes in here. What we can do is really get rid of just about all of these for the hands and the elbows. I think what I'll do is just come through in the dope sheet and just get rid of these. And they're just going to be fighting against us as we go. So here's these keyframes on frame 5. These are for the hand IK. I think we can just hit X and delete keyframes. Let's come over here to frame 8. Here's the hands and the elbows down here. And it looks like we can go all the way to frame 13 because here's the keyframes we just pasted. So I think what I'll do is just hit the B key and border select all of these. And then the B key and border select all of these here. And I don't need those. So I'll just hit X and delete. So now we have just hopefully what we need. The contact positions at 1, 7, and 13. Now, notice what I mean about that kind of piston movement here. Let me go back to the side view. As it goes from frame 1 to frame 7, notice that the IK handles just go in an exact straight line. And that's going to be a problem. We need to ensure that there's nice curves there. Let's go back to frame 4 here, and let's think about where the arms need to be here. We're coming from this position right here, and the hands need to, looks like they need to come down a bit and pass each other the way the legs do. So the left leg's still in front here. This is the front leg, but it's passed and moving toward the back. We now want the left hand. Let me move back over here and turn off the gizmo real quick. We want this left hand to be passing probably right around in here. And we'll want the right hand over here to probably be passing, I don't know, down in here as well, like that. Let's come around to the front and see how they look. That's not too bad. Yeah, so let's go with that. Let's say that's what we want there. So we really want the opposite of this at frame 10, right? So if we copy this, let's scroll back over. Copy these two hand IK handles at frame 4. And then move over to frame 10. Paste the opposite. See how that works. All right, so I'm going to hit play and see how we're doing. Hey, there he goes. Look. Not too bad. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of other keyframes here. How about, let's take a look at frame 2 here. These are still too high. These should probably come down just a bit. So I'm just going to take these and move them down just a hair like this. Maybe back a bit. And move this down just a bit as well. It doesn't need to be quite that high. I'm going to deal with the hand rotation on the shield here in just a bit. But I'm going to move that down some like that. And once again, let's try and paste this at frame 8. So I'll select these, copy, move to frame 8, paste. Okay, so that moves those down just a bit. That's good. Let's see how we did. Yeah, so we've got frame 1, frame 2, 3, 4. Looks like we could do something on 3. I think on 3 these could be quite a bit farther down. I'll just move them kind of straight. Just move them kind of straight down like this so it kind of passes the body a little bit lower. Maybe something like that. And once again we can copy these. I'll copy these at frame 3, move to frame 9, paste. Let's take a look at frame 5. That's actually not too bad. I don't mind that. How about frame 6? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's take a look at these over here. Frame 11 and frame 12. Yeah, I can live with that. Let's test it out. There he goes. Look at him go. All right. So now we've got a basic run cycle. Even though that's looking pretty good, there's still some work to be done with the rotation of the hand and the placement of the elbows. And in addition, I'd like to go back and take a look at some of these curves. If we go back and take a look at, I don't know, let's take a look at one of these feet. How about the left foot here? And if we look at the curves for the left foot, we can see that they're not beautiful. In that, take a look at this curve right here. This X rotation right here. If we look at this, we can see there are these blips in the curves, like one right here. And this is going to be a place where if you look at the foot right here, see how it's kind of glitching out a little bit right between these keyframes right there and right there, how it kind of flips back. We want to go in and work on those because those can really affect how we perceive the animation. There's one over here too. Take a look at this one. So there's one there. There's one here. Anywhere you see these sharp breaks, these sharp reversal of direction on a curve, we really want these to be nice smooth arcs, nice smooth curves, if at all possible. So what I'd like to do in the next video is to go through and begin to kind of clean these up and see if we can make the animation a little bit smoother and a little more pleasing. So we'll work on that in the next video.